Good evening. The resources that I used for my discussion are the ACA Code of Ethics, our textbook on ethics and counseling, an article from the Psychiatry Online titled Trends in Confidentiality and Disclosure, and then the Ohio Revised Code. So I'm going to start with the basic definitions in our textbook of confidentiality and privileged communication. So confidentiality is primarily an ethical concept that refers to the counselor's obligation to respect the client's privacy and the promise to the clients that the information they reveal during counseling will be protected from disclosure without their consent. So ultimately, that they can share what they need to share in a counseling session and that will not be shared with other people. And so confidentiality is what we do to protect our clients. Privileged communication laws protect clients from having confidential communications with their counselors disclosed in a court of law without their permission. So this idea is that what is shared in a counseling session can be protected and not need to be shared in the courts. So it's a form of confidentiality, but it's specific to the court of law. A lot of personal relationships like counselor-client, husband and wife, they fall under privileged communication. And the idea is that you're allowed to have private conversations with those people because they're personal relationships and that stuff doesn't always need to be shared in a court of law. So then I directed my attention to the ACA Code of Ethics, and there's three main standards or codes that I looked at. And that was B1C, the respect for confidentiality, B1D, the explanation of limitations, and B2A, serious and foreseeable harm and legal requirements. So the idea here is that, we should provide confidentiality to our clients. There are limitations to that, and one of those being serious and foreseeable harm. So then that leads me to what I see as limitations to confidentiality, and those are things such as a client's or a counselor's duty to warn, protect, and report. So if a client were to speak of harming somebody else, harming themselves, or abuse and neglect of children, all of those things are reportable and reason to breach confidentiality. An article on Psychiatry Online says that trends in confidentiality and disclosure have grown rapidly, and the main changes have been the duty to warn, the establishment of the psychotherapist-patient privilege, and the codification of protections for health information under HIPAA. And these are the things that, these are the trends, and these are the things that are rapidly changing in the counseling field. And so it's really important that we're able to go to our Ohio Revised Code and understand our role as counselors. And it's really hard to explain exactly all the laws that refer to confidentiality and privileged communication, but very much Ohio stands on the ground of if there's harm being presented to another person, to oneself, those are all reasons for you to breach confidentiality. And again, prior to me meeting with a client and talking with them, I would walk them through confidentiality, how I view confidentiality, and how that will work in my room or my office. And I will also talk to them about those specific situations where, listen, if you talk about harming yourself in here, that's something I'm going to need to share with somebody else to get you the help you need. And they'll have a clearer understanding of what those breaches to confidentiality might be. So have a great night. Thank you.